been ICO, of course, focusing on the blockchain, and I think STO is just becoming another way for a lot of companies to raise money. So to answer your question, I think ICO will still remain, but not as popular as in 2017 and 2018. Just like we still see a lot of crowdfunding, but probably people talk less about it, right? It's not like in 2016 that all the company want to create the video and put their video on this crowdfunding platform. I think the ICO will also see a lot of differences. So number one, it's not like before that, as you mentioned, just with one paper without any MVP, minimal viable product, they will not raise 30 million, for example, right? They probably project will think about, okay, how can we actually get a series of funding, right? Probably they already get a series of funding, right? Probably they raise small money, and then they come up with the MVP, and they probably raise another round, and they have a roadmap, and as they meet the roadmap and hit the milestone, they probably can get another funding.
So no MVP, probably no funding. They should have at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will be still exist some like investor, because if you go back to traditional VC, traditional startup world, you still have angel investor, which is very similar to ICO investing. Because if you are an angel investor, you basically believe in the team and their vision, right? They probably do not even have MVP, but it's a very small number of investor, right? Because probably Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, Union Square Venture will not just invest in you just because of you are a team of smart people, and unless you are, let's say, ex-PayPal founder, right? For example. So, I mean, again, like I think it's gonna be the same thing. ICO will still remain, but it's different format of ICO, and the criteria will be very different. That's my opinion.
So I have an interesting perspective being working at an issuance platform for security tokens, and I'm also a partner at a private equity, so I do investments as well. And looking at the ICO market, I think it's talking to other VCs and funds pretty much dried up. But there is a focus on what the future of ICOs are going to be. I think the thesis for 2019 is looking like a lot of people want to go into the gaming aspect, really focus on things that are going to drive adoption and use case. And I think people are talking about gaming being one of those. Security tokens are, I think, a completely different industry. I think that we should try to move away from correlating ICOs and the cryptocurrency market with what STOs are doing. I think it is, like Shanae said, a way to do crowdfunding, another way to do so. But I also think that STOs and security tokens are making the traditional market more efficient in the terms of the way that you can go about accounting. Everything is on the blockchain as far as the cap table goes. The transaction rate's much quicker. You have this programmable enforcement of regulations. You can get rid of transfer agents when you're making trades. So there are other benefits to security tokens aside from just the crowdfunding model. But then let's go back to ICOs for a second. I think it's relatively dead. Yeah, I think they are going to need stronger models, MVPs, and revenue. Yeah, that's a good one. It will be pretty interesting to see how some of these infrastructure blockchains are going to even put out models for revenue growth in the future. So, as far as investments go, and I'm biased, right? I work at a security token issuance platform, but we're focusing on that market for growth in the future.
Okay, so moving on to individual questions as you mentioned that you've been all around Asia, right? The STO market, where do you see the biggest movement in all your travels?
I mentioned that on that one slide we had the different flags. And I think the most amount of money, the most institutional backing, the area with the most licenses that seems like it's going to be regulation friendly is Hong Kong. I think quickest to the market as far as developing countries is Singapore.
Where does Korea fall in that? Any
It
predictions that when the regulations gonna come?
I think it really depends on what we see with this ICO ban. If the ICO ban is in full effect, I think it's going to be much harder to even have the discussion on STOs after the fact, just because there is that connotation with cryptocurrency, with all the baggage that brought, and regulators are just going to be so much more hesitant if that ban goes into effect. If ICOs go that route, that the Fourth Industrial Revolution board member, Lee Hyo-hye, I think was her name. If it goes to that IPO route, then I think that security tokens will just be the next logical step. It's just the fact that they didn't know that that model exists. And so Korea, as far as the timeline is concerned,
Would you be shocked by the end of 2019?
the end of 2000. Okay, no, I think definitely within that time. Probably. So once these regulations are announced, I would give it probably 3 months for the regulators to start bringing up this discussion publicly. I know that it's kind of trickling in with some of the lobbyists right now, the security tokens. And even it's interesting because we've only started hearing about security token offerings in Korea within the last 2 months, maybe. I think the discussion wasn't even there. So it's really great to see specialized events like this, to see the topic come up more. And I think that's going to help drive the discussion, at a higher level as well. So Korea, let's say, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not, with polymath or anything, but let's say like 6 months, 6 months to 9 months before we could hear a public announcement about where they might consider placing STOs.
Sinhaelee, for the GBIC is located in New York, China, so some of the startups actually asked me throughout this whole week, as a VC, we talked about what you look for, right? What they're more interested in is what is a huge red flag. Like when you look at it, you're like, man, this is, and they really want to know, number two, how do you approach a VC? Do you seek projects out, or should they come to you and like cold email? I don't know, like this. What is the best way for startups to approach a VC, and what they bring to the table that you see and you're like, right away, you're definitely not interested.
Right, so because of limited resources and of course time that we have, so we have 5 partners. Again, we have 2 in New York and 2 in China, and I'm the only partner based in Korea. Of course, we get a lot of deal floors from basically everywhere in the world, but mainly, of course, based in the United States and China and Korea. And usually the reference works. So so it's just very hard for me to kind of look at all the deal flows, just cold emailing, definitely reference works. And the red flag is because we have been investing in blockchain. So number one, when we are not convinced that the blockchain is really needed. So that means because ICO was really hot and a lot of people thought that it is a very easy way to raise money. Some entrepreneur, they just want to find an easier way to unlock the liquidity. Means they just want to say, hey, I'm building something on top of blockchain, so this is ICO, so I want to get funding, right? So when I think the number one, why blockchain is not completely answered. In another way, that means the intention of doing project is not really aligned with what we are thinking. Then that's definitely a red flag. And number 2 is again a lot of time that I've seen that the people say, hey, we are doing X, but what they are trying to do doesn't really match the team's capability, right? For example, they say, oh, we are building deck, but like I don't think they have any like